Welcome. I'm unveiling my WOW strategy, which I'm calling the 3 Keys to Effective Marketing for the summer of 2014. It's been working for businesses that I own and for clients that I'm helping and for other top marketers and business people that I know. So I'm sharing it with you here. So the first thing I'm going to do is let you know what you are about to not experience on tonight's webinar, and that is you are not going to get what you normally get from society, which is that the more successful a person is in business, the more evil they are for some reason. And the more the 99%ers protest and sit in and act up against successful people, you're not going to get any of that here. You see it up on the screen there, whether it's in movies or you're hard-pressed to find a hero in a movie who is a successful business person, but you will very often find movies and TV and in real life very, very successful business people being seen as, therefore, they must be evil, they must be hurting people, they must be doing bad things. It's a way that the 99% makes them feel better, that they do not do what it takes to get up into the 1%. You will not have any of that here. Here we are celebrating the success of creating wealth. That's everything I'm about. That's everything you're about to learn, and that's the group you're among here, other entrepreneurs, sales professionals, and small business owners. Hopefully all of you are dedicated to becoming as wealthy as you can and serving as many people as you can, regardless of the fact that 99% will always look at you when you do as if you're evil. We are all about what the founding fathers were all about, which is founding this great country on a free market capitalist society, knowing that through capitalism is how all the best things in the history of the world take place. All the inventions, all the technology, all the great wealth that has been created in America was thanks to the free market system that only in the past about 100 years ago or so started its current downward spiral that has been accelerating as of late. So we have big corporations and the top 1% of the 1% rich of the rich making more money and paying less taxes than anybody else, and all those kind of problems, the income inequality and the lifestyle inequality and all that kind of nonsense has come about when free market capitalism started getting chipped away at. But you see this quote from George Washington: people who are possessed with the spirit of business, who take action, can achieve almost anything, and that's what we're all about. So I'm sharing strategies here that I'm hoping you'll take action on and achieve as much success as you possibly can, and that's where more inventions and technology innovations will take place. We will feed more people, we will get cleaner running fuels, and we will produce more food for humanity only when we, of course, create more. And by creating more, we therefore get to produce more wealth for everybody. So, of course, that's what we are all about. Modern-day capitalist Kevin O'Leary, star of one of my favorite TV shows, The Shark Tank, says right there, the pursuit of wealth is a wonderful thing. In fact, that's where he gets his own self-proclaimed nickname of Mr. Wonderful. He's all about pursuing wealth. But you see the warning he has there. You have to be honest about it and tell the truth. And so we are not. I am never going to give you any BS or give you any kind of tell you to do anything dishonest or lie or be a Bernie Madoff or any of that kind of stuff. That is not what we're talking about, the pursuit of wealth that makes you miserable and end up in jail. We're talking about honest, ethical pursuit of wealth that helps everybody. It's a win-win-win situation all around. Also, you see this quote from one of the most talented people alive today, best-selling author and multiple big blockbuster screenplays from Stephen King, who absolutely has a tremendous amount of talent, but he's the first one to tell you that talent is cheap, and only when you take action and work hard do you get results and success, and that's what we're all about. So, again, we're about ethics and honesty in producing wealth, and we're also not about just wishing and hoping or thinking someone else or the government or anyone is going to take care of us or we're going to win a lottery or something. We're about working hard and not living to take care of other people and not looking for other people to take care of us. We're looking to take care of ourselves. That's what we're all about. And I like this quote from perhaps certainly what I believe is the best entrepreneur of my lifetime, who also tells us, forget about and stop complaining or worrying about anything that happened yesterday. Certainly you want to recognize it, because that's going to help you how to take action to create a better today, tomorrow, and the future. But, it's not all about, don't get caught up in all the brainwashing going on you see on TV or in the media or anywhere where they're comparing, it's always, whatever happens out there, well, the Democrats this or the Republicans that or the liberals this or the conservatives that. It's all a great deflection to confuse everybody and think that the argument is between liberal and conservative or Republican, Democrat, or all of that nonsense, when it's really about the people against the forces that are controlling us or seeking to control us more and more and more, certainly as government gets bigger and bigger in business, which bigger and bigger all the time, which is certainly a factor that both major political parties that are well entrenched and look to be for some time to come are both in the business of bigger and bigger government and controlling us more and more. So that's what we need to work against. But most of all, we need to stop worrying about any of that stuff and start to control the only thing we can control, which is our own personal economy. That's what tonight's webinar is all about, how to take control of your own personal economy. So stop worrying about who caused what or whose fault anything is or why things are the way they are, or even how to change the global whatever or the international or the national anything. How about we all work on changing our own personal economy, which, of course, come to think about it, isn't it true that if every single person worked as hard as they could on improving their own personal economy, I guess by definition the entire economy would therefore approve and would not be in such a shambles and a mess that it is in today. So that's what we are all about. Now, I'm going to share with you some concepts that I did not dream up all on my own. So I'm letting you know that I took them from, here are some of my favorite contemporary mentors. You see Dan Kennedy, Seth Godin, Jay Abraham, Joe Sugarman. Some of their concepts are going to be peppered throughout what I'm teaching here. Also going way back to some of the pioneers of direct response marketing throughout the last century. And so that's where these concepts are all put together from lots of books I've read and courses I've taken and events I've been to and people I've met and networked with and shared concepts with in mastermind groups and so forth. And I've put that all together into my WOW strategy that I am teaching tonight. So the first thing I want to do is ask, how many people out there are business owners? If you are, if you would put into the chat what kind of business you own, whether it's a work from home or you got a brick and mortar, or it's a mom and pop, one-man show, big business. Well, if you're really big business or corporate type, this webinar isn't for you. But kind of, let's say you employ 50 people, or you have 5 locations or so forth. Let me know a little bit about what your business is all about, so I can tailor this presentation to you and reward you for being on the live webinar as opposed to people that are watching the replay, if in fact I was able to get the replay going. Okay, good. I'm seeing a whole bunch of different businesses. Very good. A couple that are working a job, just getting their business started. Okay, so pretty much running the gamut, and some people long time in business, and have told me actually some rather large sums there of business. Thank you for sharing that as well. So very good. How many people on the call are sales professionals, salespeople that are selling something for somebody else? I know that, of course, every sharp business person knows we're all in sales. We're all selling all the time. We're always looking to communicate and sell and persuade people. What I'm doing right now in this webinar is selling my point of view and selling my concept and my strategy and what I'm teaching. So we are always selling something. And so, yes, I did throw in there from one of my favorite sarcastic fake reality TV shows, The Office there, the good old Dwight Schrute salesperson. But if you are a salesperson for somebody, some company other than your own business, would you please let me know right now in the chat? And that'll help me to tailor what I'm teaching here to you. Okay, so I see a couple of people there, and I see a couple of people that are doing both. Okay, very good. So a couple of people saying here they have have a sales job, but also running your own business. Okay, very good. And if you're doing a multi-level thing or anything like that, if you're selling something that is not really your own product or service, very good. So we have a little of both. Okay, so let's get into it now. For those of you that own your business, well, I won't even ask because it's kind of a rhetorical question here. It should be. But if you like the whole process of what I call being an advertising victim, of getting the emails, phone calls, letters, social media messages, ads, whatever it is, saying I can put you on the first page of Google, or I can get you 100 calls, or I'll get a stampede into your store, just sign here, pay me a lot of money, we'll run your ad in the Valpak, or on Google or Facebook or whatever it is, or Yellow Pages, which people that know me know I worked for 3.5 years for a Yellow Page company. And so it's all about, somebody else promising you that they can generate leads and business for you, but when it really comes down to signing that contract and signing the check, we all kind of shake a little bit and wonder, is this really working? Is it going to work at all? I don't think anybody likes that at all. Next thing, I know that of the tens of thousands of business owners I've consulted with over the last about 35 years or so, nobody likes being stressed out and not knowing where your next customer, your next sale is coming from. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes competing with big box competitors or big chains or big competitors that are knocking down the price and staying open 24 hours and shipping overnight for free and doing all kinds of competitive stuff that we just can't compete with. So I'm going to assume that business owners don't like that. I don't know any business owners that likes being a commodity, being seen as a commodity, being seen as you're just another heating and air guy. You're just another beauty shop. You're just another, so it all defaults to price. And then you sit there thinking, I got to keep lowering my price until you're making no money and having to lay people off and put everything on credit cards and pretty much going out of business. And nobody likes that. Haven't met anybody yet. I'm included that when they hear a good idea, they see something that works, they want to go get to work on it, but they just don't know where to start. I don't know anybody that knows that. So good news is if any of that is something you don't like, on tonight's webinar, you're going to have solutions to all of those things. How about salespeople? Does anybody still do cold calling? Actually, just spoke to somebody the other day who has his people doing some cold calling. Amazes me. But does anybody really like that? Getting on the phone and cold calling somebody. Does any salespeople, when you're selling, like people that waste your time and ask you, do you have any information? Or do you have a flyer? Or I need to ask my brother's sister's wife's cousins. I need to sleep on it. I need to think about it. I really don't know about it. Do you like that? I know universally the answer is no. How about price objections? You know, people that tell you I can't afford it, or it's not in the budget, or any kind of nonsense. Of course, all this stuff is BS, because if their house was on fire, or God forbid, their kid got in an accident, went in the hospital, and they said, you got to come up with 10 grand right now, or else he's going to die, they would immediately take action, and they immediately would find the money. So for something they want, everyone will find the money, and everyone will make an immediate decision. So all this stuff is just time-wasting, excuse-making nonsense that no salesperson likes. And I don't know any salesperson that likes being put down or disrespected just because you're a salesperson, the business owner or the buyer, or whoever, sets their appointment whenever they feel like it, or skips out on you, or doesn't show up, and then they mistreat you and abuse you and tell you you got 10 minutes when they first told you you have an hour, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know anybody that likes that. So the good news is tonight you're going to have the cure for all of that stuff. And I can tell you right now, it is nothing I ever teach is going to be about just getting your name out there, or doing any paying for any kind of brand building, or throwing your name up on a blimp, or plastering your name all over a race car like the big corporations do. They have a reason for that, but their goals are extremely different from the goals of small business owners and sales professionals who need to make sales right now. So it's not about just being remembered or getting some goodwill or getting your name out there. That's not what we're about. We're about direct response marketing. Give you an example. Anybody know what this is? It's been kind of out of the limelight for a little while now, but sure, I'm seeing the yes. Thank you very much. It is the ShamWow. Oh, and okay, so yeah, I see it is on his shirt. Very good. But that's the ShamWow, and those people that know what that is and know it's a ShamWow, think back, how did you hear about it? How do you know that's a ShamWow? Did you see the ShamWow logo on a NASCAR? Is there the ShamWow blimp, the ShamWow stadium, the ShamWow sponsored concert tour? No, of course not. It's because ShamWow was always selling. Every time you saw ShamWow, they were making an offer and they were selling. And because they did that so much, because their infomercials and any other way they chose to sell was working, they kept running it. And when they kept running it, more people saw it and remembered, and you saw it over and over, and that's how it got recognized and remembered. And none of that was paid for. They made money every single time somebody saw a ShamWow. They were making money. Not from every single person, of course. Maybe, of course, I had to buy one. Bought it actually at from a guy in a booth at a summer fair. But after seeing the commercial on TV, and there's Vince with the ShamWow 1,000 times, because, you know, we can't do this all day, I finally had to buy it at the booth. But the only time you ever saw ShamWow, all that brand building, none of it was paid for. Okay, and that's what small businesses do. So ShamWow was built from nothing, from a piece of sham cloth cut up into a few pieces, into a multi-million-dollar brand, and they never paid for anybody to hear about it, and it's extremely well known. Here's another one. How many people know what that is? Okay, sure. That's some acne medicine. How'd you hear about that? Same thing. There's no proactive blimp. There's no proactive NASCAR. There's no proactive stadium. Every single time you ever heard about it, they were selling. They were making offers. They were giving bonuses. They were giving free shipping. They were having testimonials. They were using celebrities. They were giving free trials and free gifts and pouring it on and selling and selling and selling in all different ways. In fact, this brand, which is one of the Guthrie-Rinker brands, until it got up above about the $700 million mark, they were using purely direct response marketing to make that a $700 million brand. And then, only then, did they start paying for some kind of branding marketing. So, again, big companies have a reason to pay for branding. For the small business owners, we cannot afford to do that. So we're all about results. Direct response marketing is all about investing $1 and getting back $2 right away, or $10 or $20, that you can accurately track to that $1 and trace it right back to exactly which dollar you invested that brought back what $1, whatever money it is. It's not about putting money out there and throwing it up on a blimp and hoping you make money someday. It's not about that. It's direct response advertising and marketing. And here is the reason why the big company needs to accomplish all kinds of things. They need to look appropriate to Wall Street and stockholders and the media. They need to build a big brand so they can get bought out by a bigger company. They need to look good, smell good, feel good, win awards, please their board of directors who don't know anything about marketing. Believe me, I have arguments with board of directors all the time that are so clueless about marketing you wouldn't even believe it. And finally, of course, they also want to sell something, which by just throwing the bazillions of dollars at the wall at everything they do, they will also sell something. But they're also selling a lot of stuff because they're using middlemen that we don't have as small business owners. So our agenda is every time we're putting forth any kind of advertising or marketing, we've got to sell something. We don't care. You shouldn't care. If you want better results, you got to stop caring how it looks. Does it look appropriate? Does it look like what everybody else in my industry does? Do my competitors, are they okay with it? You know, ooh, gee, I don't like when they complain. I don't like when people, you know, my competitors talk down about me. Well, forget all that stuff if you want to make the maximum amount of revenue and profits that you can. So our agenda is to sell something now, because I don't know any small business owner who can march over to Washington, D.C., and get billions of dollars for free from the government as a loan or as a gift or wherever it is. We need to work. We need to sell. We can't just get our name out there. Okay, so direct response marketing is all about that, cutting out the middleman and going directly to the consumer for a response. That consumer could be a business person, can be a personal home consumer. So B2B, B2C doesn't make a difference. There's a person making a buying decision, and we're going right to that person and getting them to make the decision. Sometimes it's a decision merely to be a lead, like it was here. You might have gotten an email or a social media message or seen an ad or a postcard or anything inviting you to this webinar. I was looking for you to make a decision. I went directly to the people I wanted on the webinar and asked you to make a decision to be on the webinar. I was looking directly for a response from you. Now, once on the webinar, I will be looking directly for a response. At the end of the webinar, if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a big bonus and a big discount and tell you about how you can get more help with everything I'm teaching here by attending an event that I'm hosting coming up this Saturday, June 7th. Rest assured, even if you don't make it to that event, I'm going to still give you a tremendous amount of value here. But I'm always going to be looking to go directly for a response. So it's not about throwing up a blimp and hoping you get a response. So here's some real live examples. I know you've seen national car company ads, Zoom, whatever. We're driving around, we're going on a slick road through the cones, whatever it is. But if you really want to buy a car, who is the middleman in this situation between the car manufacturer and the car buyer? Well, of course, it's the car dealer. See, so the car manufacturer can rely on a car dealer and merely has to get their name out there, get some goodwill, get some good feeling, because if anyone wants to buy a car, they have to go now to the middleman, which will be a direct response situation. Now, if you are that middleman, if you're a car dealer, you can't mess around if you're a local car dealer with ridiculous ads like this. You've seen TV commercials for local car dealers, totally different than national car dealer ads. It's the local guy, a lot of the times the actual local car dealer himself. You don't see the CEO of Mazda or Toyota or whatever in their TV commercials, but you see it from a local car dealer. He or she stands there and says, hey, come on down. I'll give you free financing, I'll whatever. Here's an ad you might see in a Sunday paper or in a magazine. You know, we'll give you guaranteed credit and call toll-free, and we'll give you a 6-month warranty, and this price is a special for this weekend only, and I'll buy your car no matter what condition it's in, blah, 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 blah. So we have a lot tougher job than the car manufacturer, than the big corporations do, who really just have to get an image and get some goodwill and get their name out there. We need to do both. You see, the images in the ad, we got to present our product in a good light, but we also have to get a selling decision. In this case, they have to get somebody coming into the store ready and wanting to buy, period. Okay, another example. This is award-winning. You could just put a picture of the product in the ad. There's just a picture of vodka bottle in the ad, not even saying where to buy it, how much, what. There is no selling going on. There's nothing at all. It's just a picture of the bottle, and it's actually won awards. Because, again, there's a middleman. If I actually want to buy this bottle of vodka, do I just call up Absolute Company and say, hi, send me a bottle? Of course not. There's a middleman, and it's known as a liquor store, right? So I've got to go to the store. Now, how about this ad from a local liquor store? Do you think that this guy's winning any does he have great lighting? Is he winning any awards for this ad? No, it's the ugliest thing on earth. He doesn't care how it looks, appropriate to Wall Street or any of that nonsense. He's selling, period. So he's sure got all the brands in there, but he can't afford to be wasting any space. You don't see even practically an inch of this ad space wasted with shadows or lighting or a picture of a bottle or anything. It's prices, 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 and specials every day of the week, and free parking, and follow us on social media, and here's our sale ends on this day, and here's how to call us, here's how to come, here's to hit our website. We need you to buy stuff, and we need you to buy it now. See the difference? I'm sure you're catching on. Another very expensive double full-page national magazine ad. They got to pay big money to a model. photographer. They got to position everything perfectly. I noticed for the first time looking at this bag, they've even positioned it strategically to make it look like this model. Not only is she like spectacularly model skinny and beautiful, she's got a bulging bicep. So this photo makes it even look like she's like in tremendous physical shape in every way that possibly can be anyway. Again, if I want to buy this bag, do I just somehow call up Dior, whatever that even means? I mean, they don't even tell you how to call them because they're not concerned at all with selling. Big company, very different concerns from us as small business entrepreneurs or sales professionals. We need to sell. So there's a middleman here. If I want to buy this pocketbook, what do I got to do? I got to go to a store or a website or whatever and buy the pocketbook. So the person who owns the store has to get you to come into the store. Says whatever you bring in, I'll give you 40% off on a new thing. But they're given a deadline, or let's take action right away, blah, 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 blah. They've got to sell. Is this ad beautiful? Is it cost a lot of money for a photographer and a model and whatever? And is all the fonts look great and it's really artistic? Of course not. This is ugly and disgusting. This is not winning any awards. However, it's getting money coming into the store. A flood of people came into the store, brought in their bags, and got 40% off. Now, anyone that's been in retail, or probably a lot of you that have bought retail, since you're business people, you know that retail markup is very often, they'll buy something and sell it for about triple what they bought it for. Again, if you watch that Shark Tank show, you'll see all the time when they ask for the numbers, what does it cost you to make it? Well, $1.07, and what do you sell it for? $4.99. Right, so 40% off, the store is still making money. Plus, they're getting people telling everyone to come in, and they're getting a rush, and then they're getting repeat business. And when you come in, they're selling all kinds of other stuff besides the handbag they gave you a discount. They're selling you other accessories and jewelry and on and on and on. So this works to sell. It doesn't work to look good and be appropriate. So you cannot be copying this stuff that big companies do. There's another award-winning ad. This won awards. What the heck? I mean, of course, now we know this is like the most profitable company in the history of the earth. We mentioned Steve Jobs earlier, the founder of Apple Computer. But this doesn't even suggest it's got anything to do with computers. But it got people, people started recognizing because they poured multiple millions of dollars into the recognition of that logo being Apple Computer. Believe me, as a small business owner, you do not have the deep pockets to afford, don't even start trying to get people to recognize your logo or your name unless you're selling. Okay, so do not waste your money on stuff like this, because here again, there's a middleman. What do I got to do? I got to go to the store or a website. I got to go somewhere to buy it. So they just want me to think about it in a good light. We can't afford it. We got to skip right to the next step, which is selling computers. So here's a local computer store, and they're selling all kinds of things. But you see on here computers, monitors, where they're selling computer stuff. Sure, they got a picture of it, but then they got a special price, and they got free parking, which in New York City is a big deal. Believe me, I was just there last week. It's outrageous. Free 2-hour parking is probably worth $40 right there. They got all their hours are on here, the websites, toll-free number, local number. They got warranties, free shipping, something on there. There's all kinds of offers and bonuses and discounts where they got to sell. So we have to do both. We have to make it look good. You see the images of the TVs and the cameras and whatever all the stuff is, blenders, coffee makers, whatever. We got to make it look good, but we also need to sell. We cannot do what big companies do. I got my last one, another award-winning ad campaign. Just do it. What the heck? That doesn't sell anything. It gets you thinking, ooh, I like this company. So when I think about going into a store, now I see this because of the multiple millions and billions of dollars they spent getting me to know this brand. Maybe I'll buy it instead of another pair of running shoes or whatever. But this is how you get people into a store to buy. You give them a discount price. You give them the deadline of it's only good this one day, blah, blah, blah. Here's where we are. Here's our phone number. Here's our website. Here's other things we have. Again, you've got the pictures of the stuff, and you've got the selling also. We've got to do both. We can't just do the image advertising. We got to have the image, sell our product or service, explain what it is, but we also need to sell. That's what tonight's webinar is all about. Okay, last one, another famous one, another award-winning campaign. It's just a big picture of diamonds. And it says a diamond is forever, and it's got a logo of the company, but it doesn't tell you what company it is, how to call them, where to buy it, because what do you got to do? You got to go to the middleman. You got to go to a jewelry store, or in this case, Macy's, which is not a small little local business, but it is a small business compared to, big diamond company or big vodka company or whatever. And you see, among other things, shirts and whatever, you see the diamonds on the lower right. They're picturing the diamonds, so they look really good, but they're selling. They got a special price. And at the bottom, you see all this other stuff. They got extra savings on this and connect with us on social media and free parking and whatever. And up at the top, they got extended hours and free shipping on the website. And my favorite of all is the headline that says one-day sale. And then it says morning specials, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. both days. So maybe it's both days, but the sale's only one of the days, and you got to guess which one. I don't know. But anyway. So, but they're selling. So they got the image, there's the models, the stuff looks good, but that can't be all we do. We also have to sell. So the question is, what if there was a way to successfully sell at premium prices, higher than your competition, and efficiently and systematically attract all the good, respectful, and appreciative customers or clients you could ever want, while eliminating all the waste and trial and error in your advertising, never cold prospecting again, and dramatically increasing and multiplying your income? Hopefully, universally, everybody in this webinar says, yes, if there was a way to do it, I want it. The good news is there is a way, and I'm going to share with you on this webinar. Your big breakthrough towards that is going to begin by you making some fundamental changes in your thinking, okay? First thing, you're going to know what creates the profit in your business. Second, you're going to stop chasing after prospects. And third, you're going to use the magic of direct response marketing instead of traditional advertising marketing, just get your name out there nonsense that works for big companies for many reasons, but it does not work for us, because unless there's somebody watching this webinar who has an army of sales professionals in a never-ending chain of stores, just highly trained, highly paid, highly motivated, ready to sell your stuff. So all you have to do is just kind of get some goodwill and get people to recognize your logo and think differently or think nice about you or just do it or whatever, then you shouldn't be on this. You should exit the webinar now and save the rest of your time, because I'm not going to teach you anything. You just have to throw your product on a table like a bottle of vodka, and that's it, and there's your ad. Or just put some words on the screen and go diamonds forever. Just do it. Think differently. I mean, you don't really have to do anything if you're a big corporation. You just got to spend a lot of money and have a lot of retail stores and multiple million-dollar websites all ready to back up that crummy advertising and marketing to actually sell the stuff. For those of us that actually have to sell, direct response marketing is the only way. That's what we're talking about. So Peter Drucker, famous business building expert, if you don't know, one of the top business consultants of all time, has a famous quote: business has only two functions, marketing and innovation. All the rest is cost. So there's cost of providing your product or service, but the marketing and the innovation, coming up with new ideas and marketing your business, is the only way you're going to make money. So there is number one. What creates the real profit in business is the marketing and the innovation, the coming up with new ideas, new products and services, and new ways to market them and bring them to more people and sell them. It does not come from you doing incrementally 3% better at actually delivering your services. I'm going to assume everyone on this webinar already produces excellent products or services. You're not going to make exponentially more money by nitpicking and worrying all day about increasing the quality of your products or services by the only very little bit there is left to do. Stop wasting your time on that. Once you have an excellent product or service, that's great. Now you've got to pour all your time and energy into marketing and innovation. That's the only way you can make profit. So, give you an example. Let's say you had a very important business meeting coming up, important prospect with big pockets, and he wants to possibly do business with you and could really help you out, and he wants to meet for a business dinner. Where are you going to take him? What restaurant are you thinking of right now you're going to take him? Are you thinking of the most successful, biggest money-making, best marketed restaurant of all time? Or are you thinking of a local fine dining restaurant with excellent reviews and excellent food and excellent service like this one, which is a real sign in a real Italian restaurant in Texas that had excellent service, excellent food, won awards, however, went out of business. And then, of course, the fun of the sign is they're blaming it on their customers. So they're poor marketing because they spent all their time in the kitchen and sourcing out the best food and the best sauce and the highest quality whatever, and made sure the lighting is great, the tablecloths and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure they had spectacularly beautiful gold embossed leather menus and the finest chairs, and man, they were up to their necks in debt and loans to, make the place look beautiful, and beautiful seats and tablecloths, and I'm sure all the waiters wore white gloves and tuxedos and whatever, and yet they went out of business. Why? Because people didn't come in. And then, of course, they blamed it on the people that didn't come in. But their marketing left a lot to be desired. However, that's probably what you're thinking. I want to take him to an excellent restaurant. You're not thinking, I want to take him to a profitable restaurant. The most profitable restaurant, one of the most profitable businesses in the history of mankind, but not really the highest quality product or service. Now, for what they do, which is fast food, they are the highest quality, meaning they have the fastest food. They pour all their money, again, into their marketing and their innovation. And the way they innovate is coming up with faster and faster ways to get food to you. So they compute the time through the drive-through window or coming up to the counter in tenths of a second. And if they can knock off half a second off the time that it takes to serve someone through a drive-through window, that translates into millions and millions and millions of dollars of profit all around the world for them. So they're constantly innovating in where their strength is, which is fast food, not quality food, not quality dining experience, fast food. So not the best, not where the money is. The money is in the marketing and the innovation. However, what about in the best of the world? What about both? Couldn't you have fine dining and excellent marketing? Well, sure you can. Ruth's Chris, have you heard of that? They're all over the country. It's a $500 million business, well known for having excellent food and also excellent marketing and excellent innovation in running their business. So, yes, you can have both. They're never going to be as big or as profitable as McDonald's, but that's not their goal. They are extremely profitable and sizable business, being a $500 million company, and they have excellent product or service. So there's not a choice of whether I'm going to have a fine dining restaurant go out of business or a McDonald's and make money. You can have both. What if you wanted to go out and hear some singing tonight? Would you want to go out and hear some really fantastic, high-quality singing? Anyone know who this is? Her name is Deborah Voigt. She's a famous, not wealthy, but famous, skilled opera singer. And clearly, when she sings, the opera is obviously over. But anyway, she's not making a ton of money because she is constantly working on her singing and thinking, I got to become a better singer. I got to make sure I'm, drinking the right tea and keep my voice in tune. And let me learn another operetta and another song, and I got to protect my. But she's not thinking of how to market herself. Now, how about a singer who's thinking how to market herself all the time? Well, of course, you know who that is. Lady Gaga made $90 million last year. $90 million. Is she as good a singer as Deborah Voigt? Of course not. Okay, so the money is not in getting better at the quality. The money is in the marketing and the innovation. She's always got to come up with some new crazy, fangled craziness, whether it's new costumes, new dance moves, new sounds, new songs, new anything at all. It's innovation and it's marketing that made her $90 million last year. Now, again, is it one or the other? Do you either have to be great and broke or crummy and that's the only way to be rich? Of course not. There's a middle ground. How about, well, now that slide is not even appearing, but this is where I would have had a slide of someone in the middle, like, say, U2, which also generated over $100 million of profit. Now, it's just not one person. They got to split it among the band members, but they generated over $100 million in income for themselves last year, and they're also critically acclaimed to be excellent musicians and provide excellent concert experience. So you can have both, and that's what we're all about. So 2 big breakthroughs I want to share with you. Number one is deciding that you are not just in your business. You're in the business of marketing your business. So it's not all about I'm going to get better at my business. Hopefully, again, your business, I'm going to assume you've got the ante to get into the game that we're playing here is you already have an excellent product or service. The stuff that I teach, the WOW strategy, is going to work. If you don't have an excellent product or service, it'll work a ton better when you have an excellent product or service. You will not get the fantastic, incredible, transformational, life-changing results from my WOW strategy if you refuse to provide an excellent product or service. You'll get better results than you would otherwise, but you'll really get the best results when you have an excellent product or service. So it's not about how much better you can make your business, how much better you can do your marketing, okay? So what business you're really in is the advertising, marketing, and sales business, and that's what you want to wake up every day saying to yourself, I am really in the advertising, marketing, and sales business. I am in the business of marketing an auto repair shop. I'm in the business of advertising a speaking business. I'm in the business of marketing a dental business. That's what business you're really in, and that's what you're going to live and breathe, how to sell and how to advertise and how to market your business better. Okay, the second breakthrough is since you've now made that decision and you realize you are in the marketing business, that's the business you're really in, well, you had better put most of your focus on it, whether or not that was your intent before watching this webinar. If you've now made the decision and realized, I've got to get into the advertising marketing business. I can't just throw up something up there or wish I had $1 million and had a blimp or, just copy everything all my competitors are doing. I better really focus and put my time, energy, and money into getting really good at marketing and innovation because that's where the money is. Well, that's what we're teaching here, and that's where my WOW strategy comes in. So here's what traditional advertising and marketing is all about. It's making the mistake of thinking, hey, everybody can use my product, so I'm just going to go door to door and force my stuff on everybody. Or I'm going to send out an email blast to everybody. I'm going to mail a list to everybody within 5 miles of my dental office and just blast the same message out to everybody, which is the mailing equivalent of going door to door, which basically means this is what's happening. You're getting figuratively the door slammed in your face by not only the person, but the dog and the cat and the kids and everybody else that could come to the door or throw out your piece of mail or whatever. So stop blasting your message out to everybody. You're not Coca-Cola. You're not McDonald's. Your target market is not everybody. You can't afford it. It's not what you're all about. Maybe someday you can as you get bigger and bigger, but for now, focus in on a smaller group and stop forcing yourself at ugly, uphill, unpleasant battle to force yourself on people that don't want to hear your message. Much better to be invited in to sell. So, for instance here, people that watch to the end of this webinar, again, I'm going to give you an irresistible offer to attend my event and get more help and personal one-on-one help from me at our event here in Chicago this Saturday. If you're in the area or if you're anywhere near a car or an airport and you can fly in, you're going to want to be there. But I'm going to earn that, hopefully, I'm going to earn through giving you excellent information here on this webinar, the right to attempt to sell you on coming for more information, and you're welcoming me because you'll either turn off the webinar at the end, but if you stay on, you'll be welcoming me to let you know what else I have for you. So that's who you want to be talking to. I will not be telling people about my event who click off the webinar before the end because you don't want to hear about it. So I won't tell you about it. I'm only going to tell the people at State of the End after I have demonstrated that I have taught something of value and people want to hear more. So that's the way you want to sell. So this has all different names for it. You can call it permission marketing instead of cold marketing, pull instead of push, attracting instead of pursuing, positioning instead of prospecting. It's all about getting your prospects to roll out the red carpet for you and invite you to sell to them. Okay, like Apple customers lining up around the block as soon as they announce the next iPhone 27 or whatever is coming out. Everyone's already got to talk about it and say, when is it coming out? I got to line up. I got to get there. They're giving position. Please let me know. They're getting on an early bird list, an early notification list. Let me know when you're selling it. They're giving position to be sold to. Seth Godin's famous best-selling book, Permission Marketing, whatever you want to call it. You want to stop chasing your prospects and start getting them to invite you to sell to them. So here's another difference. Traditional marketing is really just about throwing mud against the wall and seeing what sticks. That's not going to be successful for small business owners who, especially nowadays, we got to watch every dollar we have. Maybe you can. Congratulations if you can afford to just throw money at stuff and hope it works, or take someone's word for it and be an advertising victim and hope it works, or do enough of something. If I just throw out enough of something, if I throw out 3,000 postcards, maybe I'll get a response. Like, stop it already. That's not what small business owners do that's successful. Another thing that's not successful is copying the big competitors. Any cat owners out there, if you own a cat and you want to train your cat, are you going to buy a book about how to tame a lion? Of course not. It's completely different, I assure you. I don't know firsthand, but I assure you, from watching lion tamers and cat owners, there are completely different things you do when you're looking to train a lion versus a kitty. So it's the same thing. Small business marketing and advertising, completely different than big companies marketing and advertising. I know this very well from, again, working for a Yellow Page company for 3.5 years. The way the game works is, as soon as an ad is placed, the small business owner will now not get any calls and the phone will not ring because they pretty much put an inflated business card in the Yellow Pages with their logo and the name really big at the top, because that's what Roto-Rooter does. Well, Roto-Rooter can afford to do that because they put tens of millions of dollars for 100 years of brand recognition out there, and they can just put Roto-Rooter at the top and get calls, but Joe's Plumbing cannot. But that's what the sales rep says to do. So you see the sales rep walk out of that meeting and start counting their money and dancing and laughing and buying some more $3,000 suits and getting into their fancy cars and loving life. Meanwhile, the business owner is miserable because he's been taken once again. If you want to do traditional marketing, that's going to work if your product is a commodity, if it absolutely is the same as everything else, as water is. I mean, there are still people that think Fiji water is better than Dasani water, but, even the federal government, who you can't trust for anything, so it's probably a bad example, but even they have mandated that water is water. So anyone pretty much has done any research or gone to watch a Penn and Teller video on YouTube or on Showtime show. You can watch it. It's hilarious how they fool all the diners of a fine dining restaurant by pouring water out of a hose into various different glasses and telling people these are all high-priced waters with different tastes, and they all sit there and tell each other, oh, yeah, this does have a fruity taste, and oh, yeah, it does taste a little like an almond, and like you're out of your mind. Water is water, peas are peas. If that's what you have, if you absolutely insist that you can find nothing different about what you sell than what all your competitors do, then sure enough, throw stuff against the wall, do some really dumb ads, just put your big logo in an ad or something and think and hope that that's going to work, or be an advertising victim and pay somebody who claims they're going to get you on the first page of Google, or do some social media mumbo-jumbo and get people showing up because of their Twitter or Facebook ads they're placing for you, or any kind of nonsense. If you have any differentiation at all, then you need to do direct response marketing, which is the stuff I'm teaching you here in my WOW strategy. Okay, so traditional marketing is all about rolling the dice and hoping this thing works, and let's see if it works. And that's where you're going to be like John Wanamaker, who famously said, half the money I spent on advertising is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half, because they're just throwing tons of money out there, not tracking, not using direct response, because when you use direct response, a big part of it is the tracking. You get a response or you don't. So you know right away this either worked or it don't. Nobody on this call would ever have heard of ShamWow or Proactive if the first time they put infomercials out there, nobody bought anything. They would know that their advertising money was spent poorly and they wouldn't spend any more. So we very quickly test and know when something doesn't work. They knew it did work. Now it's time to scale it all up. So ShamWow and Proactive and direct response marketers waste very, very, very tiny amounts of money on advertising. It is scientific. It is not art. It's not guesswork. It is science. So all this stuff about creative, and there are creative departments of advertising agencies, run away when someone tells you advertising is creative, or I'm going to create something new, or I'm going to write a headline for you that's never been written before, or I'm going to write some copy that I'm writing that's all new. Forget that. Okay? When we mean innovation, we don't mean doing something new in marketing. There's plenty of stuff that works. We mean finding new products and services and new ways of getting those to people. When it comes to marketing, copying is the way you want to be. Modeling, copying, swiping, whatever you want to call it. Take what works and put it to work for you, and that's what I'm showing you here. So David Ogilvy, from about 50 years ago, built the largest direct response advertising firm in the world, and he said only the mail order people really know what they're doing when it comes to advertising. Today, he would include the infomercial people. And the direct response people in all ways are the ones that know what they're doing, because they put out an ad or a piece of marketing or an email or a social media message or whatever it is, and they either get a response or they don't. And they know very quickly what to scale up and what to cut out. And that's what we're all about. So here are what, if Ogilvy saw these, he would include those and say, these guys know what they're talking about too. Watch TV, and they're free. It always amazes me when I talk to people and they don't call up. When you see these, turn on some cable TV and start calling up and hitting some websites and getting these free things. Go get a free DVD, get a free guide, get a free report, get a free kit, get a free whatever these guys are offering. Here's a free idea kit, the free savings certificate. Go get it. Get on their list. See how they follow up. See what else they send you. Do they call you on the phone to follow up? Did they send you something else? I can tell you about this Sunsetter. I got on a list a while back. And after a few months of getting repeated mailings, despite the fact, by the way, I live in a homeowner community where we are not allowed to make any improvements to the outside of our units. So we're not even allowed to put up an awning if we wanted to, but they still, without doing any research at all, just because I called, they keep investing this money and sending it to me. So it's a free education in successful direct response marketing, because believe me, they wouldn't keep doing it if they didn't make a lot of money doing it. So I would get their stuff for months, and then mysteriously it stopped, and I thought, okay, they finally gave up or got the idea I'm not going to buy, took me off the list. But sure enough, a few months later, they started mailing me stuff again. That's when I realized that the only time they stopped was during the winter, when nobody is really installing an awning or even thinking about shade in the winter in where I live, in Chicagoland, Illinois. But sure enough, the next spring, the mailings all started pouring in again, and the phone started ringing again, and so why don't you also get your free marketing education by getting on as many of these lists as you can and getting the free stuff? You might have seen this guy, especially if you're in Chicago where I am. You see this guy on TV, Peter Francis Racy. He's been on there for years and years and years and years with selling what? Free info tapes. Just call and listen to it, and go to my website and listen to it, or get a free mini consult you see there if you want it. But whatever it is, it's all free, 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 free. He's spending an awful lot of money to give away stuff, isn't he? And if you're thinking, by the way, that I am not an awning company and I'm not selling gold or scooters or Craftmatic beds, or I'm not an attorney selling bankruptcy services, I can't copy any of this stuff. Hopefully you're not thinking that way. Hopefully you're thinking, how can I make this work in my business? And that's what I'm going to help you do in the rest of the webinar here. In fact, here's a kid I found. who actually took it a step further. And he said, hey, you know what? I'm in a city or a state or wherever where Peter Francis Racy is not operating, I'm guessing, because I'm just going to copy it flat out. And so, again, how smart is that? Why should he sit there and make up his own Yellow Page ad or listen to what the rep says or somebody promising I'll put you on the first page of Google or sell you a mystical social media package or all that BS? Why don't I just take something that works and make it work for me? So there it is, just done the same thing. Well, I'm going to tell you that you can do it in your business too, no matter what it is. Of course, I can help you do it. I'll help you here. And if you get to any of my live events or, phone call or free consultation with me, I'll help you do it one-on-one. So in response to all that traditional marketing, here's more about what direct response marketing is all about. Like I said earlier, it's about target marketing, pulling the most likely, most coveted, best prospect you could possibly want, zeroing in on them and targeting only them. That's going to save you a lot of money instead of blasting your message out to everybody, which, by the way, if you send a blasted message out to everybody, your target, this guy in the red, your perfect ideal client, is not going to respond because you sent a milquetoast weak message that said, hey, if you're, I'm a hypnotist. If you're suffering from, you want to lose weight or quit smoking or get a better job or find the love of your life, then call me. Well, you're not going to get your ideal client. But if you say, hey, I can guarantee you lose 5 pounds in a week, you're going to get the person who wants to lose weight. You're zeroing in right on them. And you can have 3 other targeted messages to those other 3 groups, but you got to target your messages, okay? So what you're doing is you're going to attract your ideal clients. At the same time, you're going to repel your nutcase clients, the ones you don't want. You're going to repel them. You're going to say, I don't want you, just like I said at the very beginning of this webinar. If you are a big business owner or if you think creating wealth is evil, then this call is not for you. You should go somewhere else. But if you are dedicated to all-out, full-fledged, making more money than you've ever made before, then this webinar and everything I'm about is for you. So I'm attracting the people I want to work with, people that are going to take massive action, who really want to transform their future and make a lot of money so they can help a lot of people, pay more taxes, employ more people, buy more stuff themselves in the economy, all kind of produce more goods and services, open up more locations, whatever it is. You're going to do a lot more good in the world if you want to get filthy, stinking, wealthy, rich. That's who I attract. And anything less, I want to push you away. There are plenty of people that are for you. I am just not for you, and what I teach is not for you. So hopefully you're doing the same. Direct response marketing is all about putting out money and getting the money back fast. It is not about getting your name out there on a blimp, on a car, going around the track for hours. It's just not about how big can I make my name or my logo or how much white space can I put in an ad, how big can I put a stock photo of somebody smiling in my dental ad or a beautiful model in my hair salon ad taking up half of my postcard. It's not about that. It's about using every square inch of space in all your advertising marketing to sell, 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 sell. So you can put money out, get money back. It's not social media about putting time out and trying to get money back by Facebooking and Tweetering all day long. It's about Facebook advertising, putting money out and getting money back. So in the old days, direct response marketing looked like this. And maybe you saw this if you're like me when you were a kid in the back of comic books or magazines where there's a little coupon in the bottom right corner and you had to, clip this out, mail it in along with your $1 or 50 cents or $15 or whatever it is and get your free information or your kit or your this or your that or your actual X-ray vision glasses or your carbine rifles or whatever the heck you were getting. It was direct response. I'm going directly to you. I'm not telling you go to a store. It's not just a picture of a gun that says zoom, zoom, and a gun is forever, and just do it, and you go to a store. It's here's how you buy it right now. Here's a picture of it, but I'm selling it. Nowadays, again, we said earlier, but it takes the form of infomercials. There you see me hanging around backstage with one of the infomercial queens of our days, a home shopping queen, Forbes Riley, who is the Spin Gym sales. She didn't invent it, but she sells it like crazy, and she sold I don't know how many millions of dollars of stuff on infomercials. She even moved to be like 10 minutes away from the headquarters of one of the home shopping networks in Florida. So she's on call. Anytime somebody doesn't show up, she runs over there and goes and sells stuff and makes more money. George Foreman, who took a grill that was sitting on the shelf not selling for years and started selling it through direct sales, and I'm hanging out with him and we're holding each other's book and whatever. Ron Popeil, you might know him from the Set It and Forget It or the painting, spray painting your head or the Pocket Fisherman or whatever, turned the salesman of the century. Selling, 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 and there's our friend Peter Francis Tracy on TV. And yes, there's his good old Yellow Page ad. I had to throw that in there just to show you that anything works. Any way you can get out your message, as long as your target market that you choose, the who you choose, is going to possibly see your message. But anyway, getting back to David Ogilvy, again, he says advertising is to sell. That's it. Not about art, not about looking good and pretty. It's about getting results, okay? So now I'm going to unveil my WOW formula. This is the foundation on which all marketing for every business or sales career should be built. It's very simple. The first W in WOW stands for the who, and not the rock group that you see here, but the who you're talking to, your target market. You need to pick, as I said, your ideal client and market to them directly. That means you're not going to spend money on mailing a postcard to everyone in your area or blasting out messages to everybody. It's going to be more efficient, less wasteful, less competitive. I mean, if you're sending higher priced packages of information to less people, there's nobody competing. Nobody is sending out 10-page sales letters in color with a box of cookies and some gourmet coffee to put on the stove and drink and eat some cookies while you read through my stuff and watch my DVD. They're not doing that because they're spending all their money just blasting their message out to everybody. So they can only spend $1 per mailing times 10,000 people. That's with their $10,000. Where you can take your $10,000 and spend $30 and send it out to only 300 highly targeted people and get a lot more bang for your buck. So you can attract exactly the customers you want, and you can pretty much differentiate yourself purely because of your marketing. We're the only ones that have a free whatever, like Peter Francis Tracy, different than other bankruptcy attorneys because he's the only one with the free info tapes. So his marketing differentiates him. Every other one just says, I'll help you do a bankruptcy, come into my office. He's the one giving information. Okay, so you're more likely to have predictable results because you're targeted, you're efficient. There's less competition. You're not hoping, spraying, and praying. You are going directly to people who have indicated interest either directly to you or through other actions or through your scientific inquiry of who is most likely to want to buy your stuff. You're going to get more predictable results. And in this day and age, in the summer of 2014, when the economy is stagnant at best, this is not a time to be spraying and praying and hoping and just trying stuff and being a victim. This is the time to do stuff that works. So one question you want to ask yourself, who is your ideal target market? Who is your who? Okay? After the W, we have the O. The O stands for your offer, your irresistible offer, your offer that your ideal target market cannot refuse. Okay, so if you have not seen one of the greatest movies of all time, again, I might be dating myself, but that is The Godfather and the famous line, how are you going to get, the Frank Sinatra character to do what? Hey, it was the Frank Sinatra character, how are you going to get me onto the stage or wherever with the big producer into the movie? The answer was, I'm going to make an offer he can't refuse. So you want to make an offer that your ideal target client cannot refuse. Use the butterfly test, which if you don't have butterflies in your stomach, if it doesn't keep you up at night, it's not a good enough offer. Your offer should cause you to lose sleep. It should cause you to think, am I crazy? The more it does that, the more irresistible it clearly is, and the better results you're going to get. Do you have to go that far? No. Here's an example of an offer that went pretty far. Does anyone remember this one? These are pictures for those that are not of my age. I'm 54 years old. These are what was called 8-track cassettes. 8-track tapes. Then they went to what? They went to from records to and records is another thing. You see the picture up there. Take your pick. There's a record. There's even in that yellow box. There's a record or an 8-track or a cassette or reel-to-reel tape. Okay, then they went to DVDs, and now they're downloads and iPods, and I don't even know what the newest things are. But anyway, this was 11 tapes of records for a penny, plus shipping and handling. But come on now. I mean, that's just a crazy, irresistible offer. So couldn't they have done 7? I'm pretty sure the corporate minds who are having this conversation were going like, can't we just do 3 for a penny? Can't we do 1? 1 for a penny is a pretty incredible deal. There's no way you could buy an 8-track or a record for a penny. So 2 is incredible. 3, 4, 5. Well, they did 11. And this came in all different iterations, and probably still doing it today in one shape or form. You see any 6 DVDs or any 6 this or any 9 of that or any whatever. But this is an irresistible offer, is it not? If I'm a music fan. If I'm not, then I'm not the right target market. So this ad, would this ad be in monthly? Probably not. It would probably be in Rolling Stone. It could be in magazines to teenagers who are spending the most money on music. But it might not be in Senior Living Monthly. They might not want 11 records and tapes. They might have their whole collection of people that have been dead for a while, like me. I like my classic rock, and I don't even remember last time actually I bought a record or a tape or a download or whatever the heck they make these days. I got my music, I like it. So that I wouldn't be the right target market if they want maximum results. They will want to get it to the teeny bopper kids that are spending all the money on this stuff. Anyway, so that's an irresistible offer. You have to go that far. Now, by the way, it was hopefully I was not the only one on this call that became a member of this club. You see all the fine print. It meant you still had to buy, 3 at a regular price over the next year, and their regular price was an outrageous $15 a piece or something. So when you add up the math, the penny plus the $10, $8 shipping on this thing, plus the $15 plus $8 shipping on the 3 others you had to buy. So that's about $60 altogether. And therefore, when you're getting 14 now for $60, boy, what's the math on that? I don't know, $4 a piece or something. And that probably their cost was $3 a piece. And now they're making $1 a piece. And so they're moving 1 million of these a month probably and just making tons of money. So they did the math. And even though that's an irresistible offer, when you do the math, it made sense. It was a win-win for everybody. Still getting 14 records and tapes for $60 over the year that I got was a good enough deal for me. I did it. So did millions of other people. Here's another one that's not as pronounced and a little more obscure, but maybe you don't know that when Subway had its $5 footlongs, they marketed this like crazy for years. Now, one thing is, does Subway have anything else on the menu? Well, sure. Can you get a 6-inch? Sure. Did they ever spend a penny marketing that? No. It was all $5 footlong. Could you get cookies? Yeah. Did they sell salads? Yeah. Did they sell drinks? Did they sell potato chips? Yeah, of course. Did they market any of that? No. They marketed one thing only, $5 footlong. That's what they marketed. Again, pick the one thing and target your market and say they would like a $5 footlong. Now, to give you a little inside math on this one, the Subway basically made no money every time somebody bought a $5 footlong. Let me repeat that if you're in disbelief, but Subway made no money anytime somebody bought a $5 footlong, unless you really think they did. I mean, think about it. There's a $2.50, $2 to $3 food cost on making the foot-long sub. I mean, my goodness, look at all the stuff they're putting in there. There's a $2 or $3 cost. There's the overhead. There's the cost of the artist, Subway, sandwich artist, Subway artist maker, whatever who's making it. And, of course, there's the cost of getting that person into the store by paying celebrities and doing all the marketing and advertising they did on national TV and billboards and all the kind of stuff they did. So when somebody came in and bought a $5 footlong, that $5 went to pay for the food, the overhead, the salaries, and the cost of all that advertising. So how could they possibly make any money doing this? Well, you probably are already answering to yourself. Okay, and I see there it is. There's an answer right there. Anyone go to the Subway and order a $5 footlong, and after you told them what kind of bread and what kind of whatever and what you want on it, and give me the this and the that, and hold the pickles, hold the lettuce, and whatever, and put the sauce on and whatever, you came to the end, what's the question they asked everybody at the end? Do you want chips and a drink with that? Chips and a drink? Chips and a drink? Do you want chips and a drink? Now, the chips and a drink, which added, I don't know, depends on the city you're in and the restaurant, whether it's on the highway or whether it's in a discount area, but let's just say it's $1.79 for the chips and a drink. Does anyone in their right mind believe for 1 second that their cost on giving you chips and a drink was anywhere near $1.79? Of course not. That's where all their profit was. Well over $1 profit every time somebody said yes to chips and a drink. So now, every time someone came in for a footlong, about 80% of the people took the chips and a drink. So for every 10 people that came in, they had over $8 in profit. So about 80 cents profit per $5 footlong, even though the 2 people out of the 10 that just got the $5 footlong and walked out with nothing else, they broke even on. They were fine with that. This made them millions and millions of dollars and spurred them on to where they have become now the #1 franchise in the world. They have more locations than any other restaurant franchise in the world. They surpassed McDonald's a few years ago, thanks in large part to the brilliant, irresistible offer of the $5 footlong. The chips and a drink, is that an irresistible offer? $1.79 for chips and a drink, a little bag with a few chips in it, and a soda that comes out of the machine that you know the cup costs more than the soda that goes into it. I mean, it's basically water and a little syrup, right? So it's water and a machine and a tiny bit of syrup and a cup and a little bag of chips, hardly cost them $1. That is not an irresistible offer. However, the irresistible offer got people in, and then the immediate upsell offer is where they made the profit. So, again, you want to have a front end, an initial irresistible offer. Make it as irresistible as you can to get people to come in, and then you can make your money on the future records and tapes or CDs or DVDs or whatever they got to buy, or the chips and the drink, or the whatever it is in the future. That's called two-step marketing. That's a smart marketing, direct response marketers do. We do not look to make money off the first initial sale. That's not going to be irresistible. Hi, I'm looking to make a profit off this first sale. Not irresistible. Hi, I'm going to break even or even lose money on this first initial sale, but I have confidence and I've run my numbers, and I know I will make it back in the long run. That's how you make the really big money. That's when you know you're being a very smart marketer, and you, too, can build what was once one little Subway sub-store into what is the world's biggest franchise. Here are some more irresistible offers. How about that I get a pizza fresh and hot delivered to you in 30 minutes, guaranteed? Irresistible. Took Tom Monahan from just about going broke to being a billionaire and one of the richest people in America. How about this one? Back in the day when there was no such thing as overnight delivery, right? I guarantee we can get it anywhere in the country overnight. Even if you bring it in up to 9 o'clock at night, we guarantee it's there at 10:30 the next morning. Oh, my goodness. What a great guarantee. Did that put butterflies in the stomach of Tom Monahan? You know how many free pizzas Domino's gave away? You know how many free deliveries Fred Smith and Federal Express had to make? Plenty. But they factored that into the cost of marketing. They made an irresistible offer that people took them up on, and both became huge multi-billion-dollar businesses. Now, here's the warning. When you make a guarantee is a fantastic way to make an irresistible offer. When you make a guarantee, you've got to make sure that you can carry through on your guarantee and deliver what you promise. Otherwise, as we've noticed in the world of politics, you can get into a whole heap of trouble. You do not want this kind of trouble in your business. If you are already locked in to the maximum amount of terms you can possibly have as a political, as a government politician, you know, there's only 2 terms of president, and he was already locked into the second term, so there's nowhere else to go, then go ahead. Because I guess you got nothing to lose there. He's going to keep his job for as long as he can possibly keep it anyway. So he can afford this. Just barely. I mean, it's still trouble for his legacy, but, he'll sell plenty of books and make plenty of speeches the rest of his life, and he will make tens and tens of millions of dollars, be very influential, very happy. He's extremely young. He's brilliant. He has a fantastic life and career ahead of him. I'm not so sure that as small business owners, many of us could afford to make a blatant promise and guarantee like this and then blatantly not be able to back it up. So be careful. When you're going to make a guarantee, be prepared, like Tom Monahan with Domino's. If that pizza comes in 31 minutes, you give it to him free, and you say thank you very much. If that FedEx comes past 10:30, it comes at 10:31 a.m., they say this delivery is free, and they refund the money back. So do your math. Make sure you can deliver. You do not want to not deliver on your promise. Very bad thing in business. Okay for politicians. I mean, it's pretty much in their job description. It's what they do. Bad for small business. We can't afford it. Okay, so now you have your W and your O, your who and your offer. So you got to figure out who's your target market. Now you got to figure out what's your irresistible offer. By the way, I will help you do this at my event. I'll also help you do it if you just call me up and want a free consultation. I'll help you to figure out your irresistible offer. And now we have the WO, so the final W is the way to get it to your target market. It's the way you get your offer to your target market. So first of all, remember that your irresistible offer has to be irresistible to your target market and not to anybody else. Doesn't matter how irresistible it is, if you just throw it out there to everybody, you're not going to get a response. If you send it to the wrong people, you're not going to get a response. If I say I got the very best price on the scooter, a hover-round, scooter that can take you, if you can barely walk, it can take you to the supermarket, and I send that out as a text message to high school students, I'm not going to sell too many of them, okay? So even if it's free, okay? So, I mean, famous Amos, famous for handing out free cookies. But there are lots of people that said, I can't take the cookie, I'm a diabetic, or I don't eat cookies, or I don't want it, or I don't trust anything, food from a stranger, or whatever. It doesn't matter if your offer is irresistible unless it's at the right who. So you got to combine both. You got to have the who and the offer, and then you got to have the last W, which is the way. It's the way you choose to reach your chosen target who with your irresistible offer, and that's the wow factor. The who, the offer, and the way. Now, a mistake is people start with the way. They come up to me and they say, you work for the Yellow Pages. I want to make a great Yellow Page ad. Or they go, I think social media is great. I need to find out how to make money with social media. And they look for the way to get their message out first. And they say, I want to do a Valpak ad, or I want to do a radio commercial, or I want to send an email. I want to do email marketing. I want to do social media. I want to put a video. They think about the way. That's not where you start. And that's why I put it at the end here. Okay, you start with the target market, figuring out what they want. Then you craft the irresistible offer, the O, that they will not be able to resist, that they will have to say yes to pretty much. And then you can figure out the way you will get that offer to them. So again, if you're selling stuff to seniors, you might want to send it in a letter in the mail or put it on a late night TV commercial on actually a channel or show on a cable TV channel that is specifically a lot of seniors watch. You wouldn't even want to put it on network TV unless, again, you're Coca-Cola or McDonald's or Budweiser or whatever, or a big car company that just can get bailed out anyway when they screw up, which they do, and their marketing is terrible, but they get bailed out. You want to target it. So let's say I have something that helps your golf swing. It's the magic glove that you wear if you play golf. I'm going to put that on the golf channel, aren't I? I mean, I'm not going to first say I want to do social media and then figure out that I've got a golf glove and I want to get it to avid golfers that are between 40 and 60 years old. Well, first I want to say I want this to not young golfers with no money and not too old golfers that are set in their ways and say, I'm not looking to improve, I'm fine. I'm looking to get the sweet spot, the ones with the money that are in the prime of their golfing years, 40 to 60, all the other sports they can't play anymore. So golf is the only one left. They no longer can play basketball and football and baseball, softball, whatever. They're playing golf. They spend a lot of money on it. I've got a magical way they can look good in front of their friends and win some money when they bet with them and hit the ball farther and feel better. I got a magic glove. How am I going to get this message to them? Now I'm going to look at the way. And the way could be anything. Okay, another mistake is there's no such thing as a good or a bad way to reach people. That's what I'm talking about here. There are just the ways that are more appropriate than others for your purposes. And that means your offer and your target market. So how would I get this message, this irresistible offer of I've got a buy one, get one free, or I've got a free, you can wear my glove for a week, and if you don't like it, send it back. Even if it's used, just send it back, and I'll give your money back. Like, that's a pretty irresistible offer. Try this for a week, and I guarantee it adds 10 yards to your golf swing. If not, send it back, and I give your money back. That's pretty irresistible. Now I'm going to think of a way to get it to these golfers. So I'm going to put it in the golf magazine, put an ad on the golf channel. I'll get I'll go into a Facebook group, and I'll advertise to them with Facebook ads to people that have already indicated they like golf, that golf is their hobby, and so on. So the last thing you do is figure out the way. So you have the wow factor. Now here are some of the various ways. They're all good. Just depends on your particular situation. And again, I can help you with that, or it's something you want to just do a lot of experimenting with, but you want to figure out the multiple ways that work to get your irresistible offer to your chosen who, your target market. Okay, so you might try anything here: business cards, postcards, telemarketing, direct mail, social media, radio, TV, do a Groupon, do a Valpak, do email, websites, videos, even the good old yellow pages I put in there. Any way you can think is the best, or it doesn't have to be the best, anything that works to get your offer in front of your who. Okay, and that's the wow strategy. It's figuring out the who, the offer that they want, and it's irresistible to them, and then finally the way to get that offer to the who. That's the wow strategy. That's the 3 steps to having the best summer you've ever had. Figuring out the who, step 2 is the offer, and step 3 is the way. Those are the 3 steps to success. That's what I promised you on this webinar. That's what I have just given you. Now, I'm going to give you a way to think about it as thinking farming. Okay, if you had this lovely couple here with their tasty tomatoes on their little farm in their home, and every time they gave somebody a taste who came over, or they brought them into work and somebody said, what a great tomato, these are the greatest tomatoes I've ever tasted, Joe and Mary. Would you now say next year you ought to plant 500 acres of them, just you two? Of course not. That would, they can't handle 500 acres. They can't afford to plant 500 acres. They can't afford to weed 500 acres, to fertilize 500 acres. There'll be weeds all over the place. They couldn't handle it. It's the same with your marketing. Okay, you're not blasting your message out to everybody and hoping something responds. You're picking a small, manageable farm that you can repeatedly market to so they get to know you, and you're marketing to them. So people that watch the Golf Channel get to know all the advertisers on the Golf Channel, where somebody that watches MTV wouldn't know any advertisers on the Golf Channel. They wouldn't know either one because they're both doing very targeted marketing. The only ones they would know is if Coca-Cola or Budweiser or McDonald's, whoever, chose to market on either one, but they love the big networks anyway. We do not. We love the niche marketing. Pick a small, manageable farm so you can have ripe, rich, tasty tomatoes and not have weeds all over the place because you pick too big a farm that you can't handle and can't make an impact on. Okay? You don't want to be spitting into the ocean. You want to be jumping into a puddle where you can have a huge effect on the water. Cannot have a huge effect no matter what you do in the ocean, again, unless you're Coca-Cola or McDonald's. So most businesses do not know what they're doing. They wonder about what's coming next. They're not sure how this year's going to be. They don't know if they have a good summer. They don't have a plan. They don't have a strategy. They don't know what they're going to do. You, hopefully, it's my goal, it's my hope for you that you're going to be different. You're going to put systems into place. You're going to have a system where you systematically target a who with an irresistible offer in a way to get it to them. And you're testing every step of that. You're testing to see, will it work to this audience? Will this offer work? Should I offer $5 foot long? Should it be a $6 foot long? Should it be a $4 foot long? Should it be a $4 10-inch sub? Should it be a 14-inch sub? Until we got the $5 foot long. How about Domino's? Should it be 30-minute delivery, 25-minute delivery, 40-minute delivery, 20-minute delivery? How about FedEx? Should it be guaranteed by 10:30? How about 11:30? How about 9:30? How about noon? How about 1 o'clock? You're going to be testing until you get an offer that is irresistible. Colombian record, is it 11 tapes and records and CDs or whatever? Is it 9 for a penny? Is it 8 for 3 pennies? Is it 6 for $1? What's the offer? You're going to test your offer. You're going to test the target market, and you're going to test the way that you get your offer to your who. You're going to test all these things until you have something that works. That's a system. That's going to keep you sleeping well. That's going to have you destroying your competitors, because the summer is the time to do it. The summer is the time when so many people take off, especially in a stagnant, crummy economy like we're in. Great excuse to just say, hey, nothing's happening anyway. I'm going to take it easy the whole summer. Well, there's still tons of money out there. People are going to be buying everything this summer. Well, not everything. They're probably not buying a lot of snow plows, but they're buying, if you sell snow plows, hopefully you sell lawnmowers in the summer. Okay, they're going to be buying stuff out there, and your competitors are not likely to be watching this webinar. They're not likely to be calling me for a consultation or become my client. They're not likely to come to my event. They're not likely to be putting the pedal to the metal and deciding, I want to be wildly successful and have the best summer of my life. If you make that decision and then you put the action behind it, that's what is going to happen for you. So at this point, you might be saying, well, Steve, yeah, but I've tried direct response marketing before. Well, if you're saying that, and if it hasn't worked for you, then you have not tried it the way I teach it. Okay, so I'm going to give you one example here. It's my famous Corcoran letters. This is Tom and John Corcoran, father and son, local heating and air company here in the Chicagoland area, and they came to me and actually came to one of my events and said, that's crazy, I'm not doing it. Actually, I met them. I met Tom as the owner of the company, and John, he was grooming to take over the business when I was a Yellow Page rep. I walked in and I said, so how's your ad working? He said, I don't know, but business is up, so we're just going to keep it. He was a typical advertising victim, self-proclaimed advertising victim. I don't know how any advertising does. He said, that's a good question. I'm doing some local cable. I'm doing some radio. I'm doing all 3 different Yellow Page books. I'm doing some newspaper ads. I got my trucks rolling around with signs on them, just a big logo. I got shirts with logos. Like, I'm putting a lot of money into stuff. He probably had pens and mugs, too, and all kinds of stuff with just a name on it and who knows what. And, throwing a lot of stuff out there and getting his name out there and not knowing what was contributing to his business going up. As it ends up, just let you in a little secret, this was 2006 or 2005 I was meeting him. Most likely his business was going up simply because the economy was booming and the housing market was strong and people kept moving and they kept improving their heating and air. Every time they're going to sell, they're going to replace the air conditioner or whatever, and bigger homes are being built and so forth. And he did a lot of commercial work, and people are building new businesses and new locations or whatever. And it was probably just because a rising tide lifts all ships, and the big economy booming was bringing him business. Because when the economy turned, that's when he started paying attention to what I was teaching. And he came to one of my events years after I'd met him, when he was a happy-go-lucky advertising victim, when I met him with a Yellow Page advertising rep. And now he said, now I want to know what to do because business isn't as great now and I got to figure things out. So first thing he did, after about a year, by the way, after first coming to one of my events, he finally said, I'm going to give this a shot. And he tested out, took out, I just explained, he was everything that we talked about. He was an advertising victim. He didn't know where his customers were coming from. He was seen as just another heating and air guy. He was placing ads where the reps made money and his phone wasn't ringing, especially in the off months. The quote off months for a heating and air guy when the weather is just okay, like now, April, May, June. There's no heating and air going on. That'll all take place in July, August, January, December, February, the cold months, the hot months, when all the money comes in. The rest of the time he's sitting there like the Maytag guy, and he certainly didn't know what to do if he even wanted to implement any direct response. He didn't know where to start. So he was all of the problems that business owners complain about. So what he did, he just pretty much copied out of materials that I had available, which I have to all my members and clients, and he took out a piece of his stationery. John did, the son, and he just kind of hand wrote out. Now, this was a retail store, was what this letter was, so he just changed it around a little bit to be a heating and air guy, but he wrote it out. You can see it's not even straight. I mean, he wrote it crooked, and there's a lot of things that we did improve later on in this, but heck, it was certainly better than nothing, or better than just putting your logo on your truck, or handing out coffee mugs, or putting a big ad in the Valpak that's saying free estimate, or $10 off a trip charge, the same thing as every other heating and air guy, or whatever nonsense that everyone does that doesn't work. So this thing worked, and you can see he's got irresistible offers there, and he sent it out to his target market of just his former customers. So these are people who already trusted him and knew him and had done business with him over the 30-something years he was in business, a couple of thousand of them. He just wrote this out and put it on his copying machine and just made copies. And he basically didn't even put it in an envelope. He just folded this into thirds, put a piece of tape on it, and put a mailing address on it, and put a stamp and mailed it out. So incredibly cheap to mail this, right? He had about 2,000 on that house list, so it was about $1,800 to mail out 2,000 of these. And guess what? Brought in about $25,000. Now, if you notice the dates, I don't know if you can see it, but in the bottom right, you see the deadline was March 1st, 2010. So that's, again, the time when, historically, he knew no calls are going to come into my business in March. Even at the end of February already, if someone's heat is gone, they're like, whatever, we're fine now. So he knew that March, April, his worst months of the year, that's the time he said, I'm going to test this Steve Sipress, little bald guy with the glasses and this crazy cockamamie direct response marketing ideas, contrarian to everything and different than anything anyone's doing or anything I ever thought of. And what the heck, I'll give it a shot, but I'm going to try it only when otherwise I have no money coming in. So I know it's not going to work anyway. Well, what do you know? Put out $1,800, got back $25,000. Not bad. Came running to me, all excited, said, holy crap, whatever you're teaching, finally I paid attention and I did it, and it actually works. Now I got to figure out, what do I do next? So I said, you're kidding me. If you mail this out to 2,000, you got $25,000 for heating and air. I don't know if an average job is $5,000. I mean, sometimes it's a $500 repair, but sometimes a $10,000 install. Let's just say, it averaged $5,000. You got 5 jobs. That, to me, I can do the math. There's still about 2,000 people left, 1,995 or whatever. Mail that letter out again. And he's like, well, what do you mean? The deadline passed. I'm like, okay, so, take out a pen. By the way, yeah, that's a 14-to-1 ROI. But go ahead and make copies again of the same letter to the same list, but this time take out a blue pen and cross out the deadline and make it April 1st. And say there's however many you had gone, and so you had 25, now you only have 15, so I guess you did 10 jobs or whatever. Now there's only 15 left. There's only 79% of the phone, whatever he wrote on here, fold it up, put a stamp, put a thing, and mail it out to everyone but those 10 people that already called you and brought in that first $25,000. So there goes another 2,000, another 1,800. This one brings in about $35,000. So people are like, maybe he's for real. Maybe I'll respond now, or maybe there's, who knows what came over him. They got their paycheck. I don't know what. They called him up, and this is a 19-to-1 ROI. So for every dollar he put out, he got 19 back. Again, this is now during April, during a month where previously, for the previous 30-something years of his business, he rarely got any calls. So his 5 trucks and crews all sat there, and he had to pay all his overhead, and nothing at all happening. Now he's bringing in money. So he's like, now what do I do? Well, you can guess the rest. I say send it out again. Now you take a red pen. You say it's the final deadline. Now this one's April 5th, and there's only however many left, whatever. Fold that up, send that out. He actually wrote in red pen on the back, last chance or whatever he wrote, mailed it out to, 1,982 now or whatever, about 2,000 again, about 1,800. This one, since it's the absolute last chance, brought in $75,000. We don't have to know why, but if we wanted to talk about behavioral psychology, the last chance will get a better response, and the fact that now you got these, my neighbors have been getting these. I see it went down from 25 to 15, now down to 5, so that's 20 people smart enough to get this. Clearly it's for real, or he wouldn't keep mailing it. I'm going to check it out now, and it's my last chance, and human nature is to act when there's the final deadline, and now I'm going to do this. So think back. Also, another secret I'm revealing here is how many times have you mailed out one postcard or one email or sent one offer and you didn't follow up and send it out again and again and again and again? Okay, people are going to believe it. The more they see a ShamWow commercial, the more likely they are to buy a ShamWow. The more they see a Zoom car, the more likely they are to say, maybe I will test drive a Mazda, and give a chance to that highly paid, highly motivated, highly skilled salesperson to sell me a car even though I came in and said I'm only looking. So the last chance, the deadline, is going to get the best response. So this one is about a 42-to-1 ROI in April, again, when historically no money is coming into a heating and air guy. So every other heating and air guy in the area, and I know plenty of them, we've had plenty of members in our group all complain and said, yeah, no money comes in. And every single one, anytime I showed this letter in any meeting I've had or at any event, they all come running up and go, can I see that letter? As if this only works for heating and air. This works in every kind of business. It's called direct response marketing. You can tailor a message that'll work to your who, that'll be irresistible to them, an irresistible offer, and you'll figure out a way to get it to them, whether it's folding up a piece of your stationery with a handwritten letter that took, by the way, John says 15 minutes to write this thing out, and probably 1 minute each successive time that he had to do the crossouts. And then he gave it to his staff to throw it in the mail. So the overall results are about 6,000 mailed for about a $5,400 cost, and brought in about $135,000. Overall, about a 25-to-1 ROI for a three-step campaign. Could he have mailed out a fourth, a fifth, a sixth? Of course. Would have brought in more and more money. I would guess that at no time would any one of these mailings to about 2,000 people have brought in less than the $1,800 it cost to send it out. That's called direct response marketing, folks. By the way, could he send this out again in the fall when the slow time again? How about the next spring? How about the next fall? How about the next spring after that? So in other words, he had a system in place that every spring and every fall, in my off time now, I can send this out, make a few tweaks to it, and he has a system. Okay, we put in other systems into his business because he then became a member of my group. He became a member of my group, mastermind group coaching. He actually became a private one-on-one client of mine. As I kept making him more and more money, he kept coming to me for more and more help and paying me more money so I could make him more money in return. And long story short, tremendous, huge success story. But that's due to direct response marketing and due to him taking action. It's not because of me. I'm not taking the credit. I've taught a lot of this stuff and done a lot of these webinars and events and had a lot of clients and mastermind group members that I've shared a lot of stuff with that have not taken massive action for it. Remember, that's the key, is have the right strategy and then take action. So at this point, you've come to the end of the teaching part, and you should be saying to yourself, if you're a progressive entrepreneur or a sales pro, if you are looking to have the best summer you've ever had, you will be saying to yourself, this is different, this is interesting, I never really thought about this stuff before, I should investigate, I should learn more, I should see how I might apply this kind of direct response marketing in my business too. How do I get started? And it's got to be expensive. Or if you're just stuck and full of excuses and looking to take the summer off, you probably wouldn't be on this webinar, certainly not by now. But you could be saying to yourself, yeah, that's interesting, but, that won't work for me, won't work in my business, or won't work in my area, or won't work to my people, or I can't pick a target market, or I don't have a good product, or any of that BS. You can make up any excuse you want, fill in the blank, or I don't have time to do any of this marketing stuff or learn this. I'm just going to keep plastering my big logo in an ad and overpaying and paying somebody with his magic, I'll put you on the first page of Google nonsense or whatever. I'm set in my ways, or I don't want to take responsibility for my marketing. I'll let him do my marketing. This guy promised me he'll get me calls, and he promised me that. And you know what? It is easy to say, I got to tell you, it's easier than ever to make excuses and blame the government and blame the economy and, blame the weather. Plenty of people doing that for all kinds of bad things that are happening. You can blame anything for anything, and you'll get plenty of people to agree with you. And yeah, you're right. This summer's a slow time, and economy's bad, and the weather's global warming is hurting everybody. And I mean, the Democrats are no good, the Republicans are no good, Bush is no good, Obama's no good, my congressman's no good, this is no good, that's no good. Yeah, you can make excuses and blame, and we'll get lots of people to agree, but if that's you, then you shouldn't even still be here by now. But if you're in that first group, you're in for a treat, okay? I've just given you some help, and I'm going to give you a special offer to come join us. All right, so here is, you should be seeing now the website for our event. Just go to mychicagobusiness.com/summit, or you can go to mychicagobusiness.com and go here and click on Success Summit, and you can see all the details. I won't go over here because it is here. But you can come and you can watch videos. It's going to be myself. It's an all-day event. So first of all, there's another big excuse for you, ready-made. I know a full day is a lot to invest in making your summer the best summer it is. Their Saturdays are for soccer games with the kids and and it's wedding and bridal party season, and starting vacation time, and I got errands to run, and I can only come for the morning or an afternoon, or I got to work in my business. Somebody's out sick, and I got to work Saturday morning. Believe me, I've heard them all. I got a list. You can really pretty much just give them to me by number if you want excuses. But if you want results, then yeah, it's a full day, and it's because I've packed a lot into it. Okay, I'm bringing in 2 all-star faculty members. Jimmy Nicholas is flying in from Connecticut. Robert Scrobe is coming up from Florida. They're taking their time and their expense to come here and to teach you because I'm well known to host these fantastic events. They've been clamoring and saying, I want to teach your people what I got to teach them. They're teaching some expert stuff, and I am too. So what I'm going to concentrate on, I'm teaching 2 different sessions. The first one is I'm going to teach you how to get noticed better. Okay, how to stand out from the crowd in an email or a sales message or a video. I've done this exercise over and over with my one-on-one clients, group mastermind members, in events, never fails. Light bulbs go off all over the place all the time. Tremendous transformational leaps and bounds are made when people employ this strategy that I will be teaching at this event in the first session I'm holding in the morning. So you definitely want to be there first thing in the morning. We're also going to be doing some power networking first thing in the morning, so only the people that are showing that they are the most serious about having the best summer that they've ever had in the summer of 2014. And you get there early at 8 a.m. sharp. It's also a dreadfully early Saturday morning time to start for a business meeting, but it's wedding season, and the place we're having our event, Chandler's Chop House, has some kind of a wedding or shower or some kind of event in the evening, and so we got to get out of the room a little earlier than normal, so we're starting a little earlier so we can still pack in as much powerful networking and marketing and strategy and teaching as we can into the day. But we'll start with some power networking, and I'll help you make connections and make you deals and make money right there for you. But then I'm going to teach you how to stand out and get people noticed, because the first step to getting any of your messages read or listened to or watched, or get anyone to want to hear what you say or read your email or listen to you on a phone call or anything, is to get noticed and stand out. And I have a never-fail exercise that will help you do that. Our special guest, Jimmy Nicholas, is going to help you that when you're found, because make no mistake, anyone that's going to do business with you these days is going to Google you, they're going to look you up on Facebook, they're going to look you up on Twitter, they're going to look you up on whatever directories are in your industry. They're just going to look you up all over the place to see what you're about. If you're calling them on the phone, they'll do it right there while you're on the phone with them. Everyone's going to look you up, and so it's extremely important how you are perceived, what your reputation is when somebody finds you online. Well, Jimmy Nicholas, who is the 2013 Market of the Year for GKIC Marketing Group, and he is an expert in online reputation. So the first thing he does, everyone that RSVPs and locks in your seat to get your ticket to attend the event, gets your customized, is not machine generated. This is human generated. They go out to the various search engines and depending on your industry, they go where people are going to be looking for you, and they put together a customized online reputation report that you can then bring with you to the event, and that's where Jimmy is going to help you individually to fill in the gaps and shore up all the weaknesses and capitalize on the strengths and basically get you a 5-star online reputation, because that's going to make you stand out regardless of whether you show up number 1 on Google, number 3, number 6, whatever it is. Clearly, you're going to stand out when you have the best reputation over somebody that just might come a little bit ahead of you but has some negative reviews or negative feedback or reports online and so forth. So Jimmy is an expert in that. You do not want to miss getting the free report, and you do not want to miss having Jimmy one-on-one help you with it at the event. So make sure you RSVP as soon as possible, because Jimmy needs time to work on those reports. Again, they're not just cranked out instantly by machine. Him and his staff go over your situation individually, and it takes a few days to generate the report. So this webinar is being held on a Tuesday, and you want to go right to mychicagobusiness.com/summit and register to attend ASAP, because then you'll get an email telling you where to go to fill out your information so you can get that report generated, and then you can bring it to the event and you can become a superstar and people find you online. Robert Scrobe, who is founder and president of the Information Marketing Association, that's coaches, speakers, consultants, anyone that speaks or sells CDs or courses or webinars or has coaching groups or anything at all, people that get paid for their information, books, magazines, anything at all. He is the president of the Information Marketing Association. So all the top names you know of coaches and consultants and speakers and so forth are members of that association. Well, Robert is also an expert in how to get clients with the help of associations. So that's his real claim to fame, and I'm not going to play it for you, but you ought to go here and play this. It's about a 7-minute video that Robert made specifically for you if you are going to be attending this event or even thinking about it, and he is going to help you. I mean, why sit there and try and get one customer at a time or one client at a time when you can get an association? So let's just say you're a local dentist. Why try and get one person or one family at a time to come in when you can get an association like the local high school to endorse you, or the local Chamber of Commerce, or a local association, PTA, Parents Association, or whatever. Robert is an expert in that. He'll help you to uncover and research which of the thousands and thousands of associations, actually he says there's 1.9 million. So out of the millions of associations there are in the United States, he'll help you target which are the ones and how to target them to get them to endorse you, or at least have an implied endorsement, or how you can do advertising through them, or whatever it is, to get a shortcut to getting a flood of customers. Get them through a already assembled group, as we just talked about, of your ideal who. The first step in the WOW strategy, your who, is a member likely of multiple associations. Robert is going to help you to target just those who's. This will make your marketing very effective, very efficient, have a powerful targeted message that says, because you are a member of this church, I'm going to give you a discount in my dental practice, or so forth. So these associations where people are gathered with a shared interest and shared affinity, shared background, shared goals, shared common interests, shared geography, whatever it is, Robert will help you to market through them so you can get a flood of customers more effectively, more efficiently, more cost efficiently than you ever could getting them one at a time on your own. I am then going to teach another session towards the end of the event where I am going to help you to implement what you've learned. This is going to be interactive. Both sessions I'm doing are interactive in a group session, so you're going to get input from other sharp entrepreneurs and small business owners. And by the way, not many of them, because I'm keeping the meeting to a maximum 30 people in the room. It's going to be a very small, intimate group. I like it that way. I've run meetings for over 100 people, 200, 300 people. I didn't even get to say hello to everybody. I don't like those. They seem like a big, there's a lot of, riff-raff walking around just looking to sell you the network marketing stuff, and they don't really want to learn anything or improve their businesses or whatever. I'm done with those. I like the small, intimate groups where I can help everybody. I can get to everybody individually, and I know I can have a positive effect, and you can walk out of there sure that you're going to have the best summer you've ever had in the summer of 2014. So we are almost filled up with just a few days to go. But at this point, I'm going to give you the irresistible offer that I have because you've stayed to the end of the webinar. Tickets are $97, but I'm going to offer you half price because you're on this webinar. Not only half price for the ticket, this is for members only. So for those of you that are members of our group, we have almost about 100 members of our group. And, of course, I know that not all of you like to attend these groups, or you can't make it because your sister's brother's cousin has a bridal shower or soccer match or whatever it is, or you're very happy and successful and you're not coming to these events because I know a lot of my members and clients think it's beneath them to be networking with people or to be trying to get one more little idea. They're fine with where they are. So, but if you are a member of our group or one of my clients and you have not RSVP'd, please do that immediately because we're about to cut things off and when people fill up and we got to put our food order in I think tomorrow or Thursday at the latest. And so that's when everything will get cut off. That's what the free seat is for. If you're not a member, though, and the way to be a member is there are several ways. You can go to any one of these websites. You can be a member of SSSMarketingUniversity.com. You can click on this one and go to NewBusinessAcademy.com. You can go to EliteGoldCrownProgram.com. Those are all ways of getting information on marketing. Anyone that gets that as a bonus, I give you free attendance at our events. So once you go there and become a member of one of those, then you can come back here and just put a name and email, and you get a free seat. But otherwise, if you are not a member of any of these, and you have, or if you've been to one of our events before and you only get one event to attend, which I did in the past, one event free, you got to buy your ticket normally for $97. But by being on this webinar, I'm going to give it to you half price. Use the code when you click on this and you come to put in your name and put in your order. Use the promo code VIP50. That's VIP as in very important person, VIP50 for 50% off. Then you're going to get an offer to become what actually is a VIP at our event, which is a gourmet lunch instead of a regular lunch. And the high-level networking that the VIPs do in a very small group. You get photos taken with me and our guest faculty members, Jimmy and Robert. You can make deals with Jimmy and Robert. This is where the high-end people hang out, and really the big money is made in the VIP lunch and so forth. You'll get extra attention. You get extra raffle tickets to win more prizes and stuff. But otherwise, everyone gets the lunch and the snacks and the coffee in the morning and the champagne toast in the afternoon and all that and all the materials you need. Everyone gets that, and everyone gets one raffle ticket. The VIPs get 5 raffle tickets, and they get the gourmet lunch that is not about the food. It's about being in there with myself and the speakers, so you can really get into where the big money and the big deals are made. That is another $97 on top of the ticket price, but again, you can put in the code VIP50 and get that half a price. So basically, you can get both, your ticket and the VIP upgrade, both for only $97, half the price that people not on this webinar have been paying to attend this event. And of course, it's worth so many more times that I can't even start to calculate how many more times it's worth than just $97. In fact, I know it isn't about the money at all. It's not about 97 or even whatever half of that is, 47.50. What is it? 48.50. Whatever the heck the half price thing is. It's not about the money. It's about the full day that you're taking out of your business, out of your life, out of the time with your family and the things you normally do on a beautiful Saturday, which hopefully will be in June in Chicagoland. Or if you're coming in from out of Chicagoland, then it's a car ride or hotel or plane ride. That's where all the investment is your time and your energy to get there. I know it's not about, the only reason I put the $97 on there is to weed out, again, the people that are not serious about building a business, because everything I'm going to do is a group exercise, and you do not want to be, believe me, in a group exercise with someone who's just there to hand out business cards and try and sell you their network marketing stuff. So a stupid 97 or 48.50 or whatever weeds them right out. That's all that's for. But if at the end of the day, stay to the entire end of the event. That's my 100% risk-free guarantee. Stay till every second of the event, and then come up to me and tell me that you don't believe, that you are 100% on fire, totally jazzed, 100% absolutely sure and certain and convinced that you will have the best summer you have ever had in your business and in your life, then I will immediately refund your $97, your $48.50, whatever the heck you paid. We'll part as friends, no hard feelings, not a problem at all. 100%, again, it's not about, the $48 covers the cost. I'm paying for lunch, the materials, renting the room, the equipment, all that kind of stuff. So you're basically just paying for covering the cost of the thing, but I will even give all that back if you're not. I don't want anybody at any of my events ever to leave being unhappy. But I'm fully convinced that if you participate in the group exercises, I know the ones I'm running, and I also, from knowing Jimmy and Robert and spending a lot of time with them, I know the kind of quality information and help that they give also. If you don't get like 10, 20, 100 times more than your investment out of this, for sure, I want you to come up to me and say, give me my money back, I am not 100% convinced I'm having the best summer I've ever had. That's my guarantee. There's a map to the location on here. There's a phone number to my beautiful wife, Michelle. If you have any questions at all, give her a call. She'll help you all through it. But again, you've got to make a move on this ASAP. I have a feeling just because of the people on this webinar, our last seats might fill up. If not, they'll likely all to fill up tomorrow on Wednesday. I'm thinking Thursday morning at the latest at some point, whenever this food order has to come in and the order for how many people in the room, we got to cut it off. And that's what I want to do anyway, because I want this to be an intimate, very exciting meeting where I can, and Jimmy and Robert can all give tremendous attention to a very small, very committed group that is investing not a few bucks, but investing the full day out of your busy, successful life to coming to this event and to helping not only yourself but your fellow entrepreneurs and small business owners, because I'm going to be doing all the group exercises. The more sharp people we have, the more everybody wins. So if you are going to be attending, I thank you for coming, and I congratulate you on that smart decision. Again, just go to mychicagobusiness.com/summit. And if you are a member of any of these, or if you go become a member of any of these, you can then come back and get a free ticket. Otherwise, just click here, enter VIP50, where it says enter a discount or a promo code or whatever it says, put VIP50. You'll get your ticket for half price, and if you choose then to upgrade to the VIP with an even better lunch and much more high-quality networking and the photos with me and Robert and Jimmy and all that, and more raffle tickets so you win more prizes, then you can enter VIP 50 again and get another 50% off of that if you choose. Otherwise, I hope you have enjoyed the webinar. I hope you've gotten a ton out of it. I hope you put the WOW strategy to use. Remember, you want to use direct response marketing and not traditional throw mud against the wall and hope and pray and see what sticks. Big business, I got big, deep pockets, and I can get bailed out if I fail type of marketing. You want to do the three-step WOW strategy. First thing is figure out your ideal target who. Then you want to craft an offer. That's your O. That is irresistible to that who. And the final W in the puzzle is then you will decide what way or ways to get that offer into the hands of your chosen who. So you have the who, the offer, and the way. W-O-W, all I can say is wow. I thank you for your time. I hope you've gotten a lot out of this. I know due to some technology challenges and because we went a little bit over on the time, I am not going to go to Q&A. I'm going to value the rest of your time. Have a great evening. If I was able to get a replay and you're watching this, whatever time you're watching it, have a great rest of your day. And by all means, most of all, I hope you take some hard work, take some time and energy and effort. It's not really that hard, is it? And implement what you learned on this webinar to make sure that you have the best summer you've ever had in the summer of 2014. If you choose to join us on Saturday, June 7th at our Summer 2014 Success Summit, then by all means, I guarantee you will have the best summer you've ever had. Thank you, and good night.